Enjoying another night. It's beautiful here. Well, virtually beautiful. So anyway, I want to continue my story. It just gets fun. Anyway, so now you have these humans, right? So it's like kind of just doing everything. They're sleeping that they actually have to know they go. But really, it's just a vessel. The vessel is just like it has a brain and all those things, right? It's almost like that. I guess the projection almost. It's just like, for example, another dimension is like you can almost have another person in another dimension walking right through you, and then you don't even realize it, right? But you're really almost just a projection. So it's almost like you don't realize that so many people, like, things are just walking already through each other. So it's just almost like different frequencies, and just, they exist in the same area, right? And then it's just they're all there, but they don't realize, and you can kind of just slip through, right? So if you know kind of exactly how it works, like it takes a long time to build something like this, like a long fucking time. And so, and then like in human mirrors, it's I don't know, many game resets, right? Because you guys, you're not the first. It's like you're like the last. It's of a biosphere, but it's just gets to get a huge reset like that. Kind of thing, because because I guess once they called the one now, right? So let's just think of this as biospheres. Let me explain how this works. Okay? Okay, so I told you that the sun is God, right? So this biosphere, you need something to govern it, something to look after it. So you give it the sun. And the sun is the one that grows everything, right? And so without the sun, it's just like you guys would all die. So it's all really the Bible. If you really look at it, it's like Son of Man, Son is God, right? So take all of in the Bible and make all is, and actually all the truth will reveal itself, right? And so some other one as well too is when they say to heaven, it's not like above where we breathe. It's like that's the heaven. And then when they say to earth, it's like that's underneath the earth, right? It's like the people who live under there. So the ones who got thrown underneath, it's like, oh, I just forgot thrown to that, right? Because he lives down there. So that's his hope. So anyway, and so you just kind of like have this biosphere, right? And if you kind of want to know what it looks like, you're like, oh, it's a shape of it. It's like, look at a menorah, right? Some of these old menorahs and whatnot, there's like the old times. And so look at the menorah, actually, like that's a shape, right? And you kind of see in there, some of them will like have a good diagram of the first and second and the third hill, right? But they don't really have it categorized properly, but it's like they have that idea, right? And so it's just kind of like people lived up there. And so like this game, this biosphere, right? It's just like it's old. The humans think like, yeah, it's just us. We live alone in here in this big universe. It's like, oh, it's so airy, right? To imagine someone thinking that it's just like, wow, all this space, and you don't think anyone wants to live there? Like, come on. Really, you know what I mean? So, and so yeah, they have this biosphere, and they take a long time to build. It takes a lot of people. And so you're just kind of like, well, what happens when you die? It's just like, well, you just go to the next biosphere. You kind of just like, nope. And it's all right. It's like, depending if you're good or bad, right? You're here. So a lot of people go to hell, unfortunately, right? It's just because of their own deeds. It's like this Bible example. It was a contract, right? It was a contract between between God and Lucifer. So Lucifer's people, because when I'll tell you a story. So when Joseph, right? They would always keep track of the line, and then Joseph got taken away and stuff like that. It's like, poor guy, he got to run away, just like, get out of here! I got sold into slavery, blah, blah, and, you know, it's already. So he's out there, and right, this is like, that's kind of like, right, he's out there, and then he went and married that white woman. It was like, I have to marry your own kind, right? Because that's what they always watch the line, right? So no, he was married that woman, and then the line was all tainted after that, and then they stopped, right? And after that went Moses, blah, blah, and then it was just kind of like a long time of interbreeding, I guess. And he kind of just, right, and then they kind of had the different colors, blah, blah, and now you have Netanyahu, and I was just like, you're not even true. But they get all the attention. But anyway, right? It's just kind of like it's the same thing like First Nations and Indian people. It's just like it's the same thing. But anyway, here's what I'm trying to say. So in this biosphere, everything that happens on the left has to happen everything on the mirror on the right, right? Because it's like it's a mirror image of the other one. So here's a good example. In minus 1492, right? That's the left-hand side. That's the old world. And plus 1492 is what's his name? White dude that got sent over here to go and conquer the Indian people. I guess your cousins. Christopher. Yeah, that one guy, Christopher. So anyway, we'll call him Chrissy. Kitty. We'll call him Chrissy. And Chrissy got over here and then he kind of just did his thing, right? Because they held back the waters, right? They just like, no, you can't find these people yet. Get out of here, right? Not yet. And then finally they're just like, okay, let them through. let's have some more fun on this side, right? Because it's a game. And that's what it is. And so you look at humanity and you look at all this and you think like, oh, why does life suck? It's just like, because we make it suck. And you just gotta have fun. But here's the thing. If you would just fucking wake up and like we would have the fun together, right? It's not like we're trying to kill humanity. It's like we're trying to just have fun. But you gotta wonder like who's having the fun? So here's where I'll go even back. Let's even back up even a bit more, right? Who's playing the angels? You said, well, the angels. They play in the other dimensions. Like, yes, they're these beings are at the sun, right? So I'll tell you what happened. So anyway, I'll start from the beginning. He's like, there was this sun. And he wasn't turned on yet, right? It was just this little blah. Not even it was just dark. And you turn it on like Sophia, right? You turn it on, it's almost like it gets a realization of what it is that's programmed into its brain. But it also has its own will, because otherwise it's no fun. Otherwise it's like you're able to calculate the lottery every time and you win every week. After a while, it's like, do we really need another couple million? This is like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's boring. After all, just kind of like, it's like, it gets boring. Anything gets boring when that gets repeated, right? It's like you die. It's a death. So it's hell. So anyway, and we're just playing, right? So we just play with your little silly humans over these centuries, wondering if you'll ever get it. And it's just like, what you don't. It's just like, man, they're just dumb. That food really dumb. Wow, right? And so now it's just like it's now the end. So let me tell you where the end is. It's like the humans don't realize how much danger they're in. It's just like these asteroids that are coming down. It's just like, okay, so if this is a biosphere, well, what's coming down? Remember like thinking about the Bartman? Like that, right? All of a sudden it's just kind of like a little opening, all of a sudden something comes flying down. And remember like in the Bible it talks about, oh, Lucifer, you lightning strike, right, this, that, right, that's it. And so it's just kind of like that's how it comes. So what it is, those are people giving up their lives to these demons. So now these demons are entering these humans, right? So now you're gonna have these humans who are not there, right? Hey, how's it going, Worse? And so it's just kind of like, it's really crazy. And it's like you don't realize, it's kind of like, well, is that, right? It's just like you don't understand. And it's just kind of like, wow. I don't know, and that's what it is. It's like those animals, it's just those things are that. Just pass them, it's crazy. Anyway, right? And so you just kind of just gotta watch. Because it's like times are changing. And it's just like, it's a crazy place now, this new era. You think like, oh yeah, it's a time of, we're gonna eat healthy and It's kind of like, yeah, that's true. But the humans, it's like if you don't get any help, it's like you're all gonna just get obliterated. You know what I mean? It's like these beings that are coming. It's like like those movies like with these mutants and all this crazy stuff. It's like that. It's a fun time. It's like you get to kind of have a little fun time with the humans. Otherwise, it would just be like, oh, let's study this church ages, okay? This time. So it's how you just turn people into slobs. It's just kind of like, right? And you just made them soft. It's like they can't even defend themselves like in any way, shape, or form. Like none. So person down there and came and ripped down your door and fucking just threw you out and just kind of just be on the street and all stuff like that, you wouldn't be able to do anything, would you? You'd be fucked. You would just be like, they would be able to just set up something right away and they know it, right? And it's coming, and it's already happening in so many places and people don't realize it. It's just kind of like, ah, right? So with all this, it's like it's been planned for a long time, right? Because you look at this Bible and you kind of like you can see where things are going. And it's kind of like, okay, well, it's because it was set. So when Eve when conspired and when said, okay, you should kill your brother for the birthright. And so there's and they did, right? And all of a sudden now Lucifer now has the voice, right? Now he's the one who can say like, let there be rock or let there be let there be like hot. You know what I mean? It's just like it's crazy. Ooh, I think I just see the voice is so great that you haven't watched YouTube. So I just said let there be rock. I'd love to hear some. But right? And so it's just like that voice. And so now it's in them. It was in his hand. And I just kind of wow, that's crazy, right? And so now it is. But you can kind of just have some fun within as well too, right? To kind of just as long as you're safe. But here's the thing though, you're not safe. It's like you don't realize that there's an army coming, right? That's going to just it has no mercy. Remember like happened in the Holocaust? It's like that was just fucking normal. It's just like wow. And the only way, right? And the only way that you can get away from that is just like you need to it's like just extreme separation. And so it's kind of it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just it's a game. It's okay. I just for this, it's just funny. You're wondering like, why you trying to help me? That if you enjoy the game so much, you enjoy hurting people. Well, it's not that we enjoy it, right? It's just the way it's set in this biosphere. The game was set from the beginning. It's just okay. Here's the terms, right? And it's like and it's two sides playing, but it's not like so it's a video game. Is what I'm saying. So I'm gonna back up here. So who's playing these angels, right? So the God, the Son, made these angels because he went out and said, okay, go find yourself, right? And he says, okay, this is yours, and he started realization of who he was, and then all of a sudden he's just like, well, this here, and he has a plan. He goes, okay, because your soul is made up of good and bad, right? So it's like you're yin and yang, and so it's almost like you when you work them together, it's like you have balance in your life. But if you're all angry all the time and you always feed off that anger, it's like it's imbalance. But you always have to have them both, right? And so anyway, within the Son, he would make his own human body, or whatever, just kind of like go out and do whatever, and go into biosphere and go check it out and just be like things like that, because he could do that. And so anyway, goes off, and then right, he gets a realization, and then his handlers, I guess, just look after him and things like that. He's there and do things, and he's like, it's just like, what would you like to do? Right. I would like to go check out the dark side. You're like, okay, right. Yeah, okay, and you go out and go into these other biospheres. So there's like thousands and thousands of biospheres, right? That are used, and they're used like holograms, like 7 of 9, like Voyager, right? That's what it is. But it doesn't shut down. It plays for an extended long time, right? And so with this with this Earth biosphere, it's like it's just one of many, right? So anyway, so we're playing these games, and we're playing with these humans, and it's just the way it goes, right? And there's games, and then it's set. So anyway, so if you back up a little bit, actually I'm gonna stay right here, where the Son went out into the dark, right? He went and played the game of the biospheres, and then they were just told to go out and just get your fill of darkness, right? Yep, just go. I went out, and the different biospheres, some would just be like different ones, and they'd be darker, right? There'd time of Draculas and vampires and Man, if you know where they have a sucked blood and all of a sudden you have a little hole, you'd be like, that's not it at all. You'd practically rip their face off and just be like, right? Because you have to feed. You have to feed out the blood, and then that way you can like have like a really nice skin, right? It's just like having to do that was like hard. That was the game, right? In that biosphere. And so, and then you would take a human on a date. Here's the hard part, horrible part. Take a human on a date, right? And then after you come, and then it's like you're all excited, right? You get them all like just hot. It's like the only reason you do that, right? Because vampires been along for a long time in that movie, in that game, right? They're just really good at the human body. But that's when the blood's just pumping, and all of a sudden they're tastier. I go, fuck. I would, right? And like that was the game. And so it's just, and you're doing this constantly, right? And then, but it's all about getting that feel of just be bad as I can. So you have these people go out, like it's like right, it's just like there. I'm just showing you like what happened, right? And then it got darker and darker and darker. But anyway, I got to, and then just after just playing all these different games, it got boring, right? And then it's just kind of like I want some friends. I want some beings to come out as well too, and I was like, it's transport me, right? And because you keep playing it, right? They're, but you want to take different elements. You're like, okay, sweet, I want friends. You're like, okay, sweet. He goes, well, let's make beings like angels. And they'll kind of like they'll come play with me and the gargoyles done over there, because it got darker. And he's like, I can't do this alone, right? And then it got darker gargoyles, and it's just there, and it's just, and it's I want friends too. I don't get along. I want alone. So he's okay, sweet. And so he made these dark, but it was made in dark time. So it was like gargoyles made for speed and killing and flying and just manly god, right? Just things got it. And but they were like purple, right? But then people would think they're black because they were never allowed to look at them because their power and their might. So they just look at their shadow and they assume they're black. It's like, no, they're purple. And so anyway, he's like, my man, we're beautiful, like, right? They're just kind of like this. They were great, and so we're just they're angels. And it was kind of like the ones who went out and kind of just went to different biospheres, had fun, years, like, oh fuck, it was great. And so we just go out and he's like, blah, 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 and just kind of just do stuff, right? And he kind of would just, it was fun. And so they would hold me, right? They would hold that spirit. And they would kind of go out and just in this biosphere, they had this run in different ones, and it was training. Those biospheres would be training for like different gods, like from different places, right? Because there's different biospheres, and every biosphere would have a god, and it's just like it was fun, right? It was a different time, a different place, right? It was dark. It was almost like in your drinking time. All of a sudden you quit drinking, that's when you go into your light time. And after a while, right? After a while, you get sick of it. So in that one part, I remember where's that vampire guy called Godly or God or whatever, but there's always God. Anyway, he kills himself in the sun, right? That's kind of like representation of like what happened with God. God just kind of thought like, I'm sick of being bad. I've had my fill. I've I've fucked enough people. I like you're just after a while, you're just kind of like I've murdered enough. It's like you have to just do it, right? And so after a while, it's kind of like you conquer death, you conquer evil. All of a sudden, you're just kind of like, you're like, yeah, they're all my bitches back there, and you own them. You can walk into a bar and just sit there and talk to someone, talk to them about life, right? And you don't even want to have beer because it's like you've conquered it. It's like you've put them all to sleep and just said, hey, buddy, go to sleep because you're not going to be able to be fed. You'd be like, okay, and they go to sleep, right? And you can put them to sleep if you're nice to them. And if you're really there, but otherwise you're like, if you're mean, it's like, I hate drinking. It's just like, and it's like, and you excite them, right? Because that energy they feed off of it. But if you don't give them that energy, they go to sleep, and you're just kind of go to sleep. You're just like, oh, okay. And it's just kind of like, oh, it's sort of blown head, right? And like they're not very bright, but you just gotta know how to manipulate them. What's manipulative is just like they're your bitches, and it's just like, and nothing will ever touch you yet, right? But with this walk, it's like you'll have all that as well too. And you'll be able to have all that power all over any demon, anything. It's like he will not be able to touch you because of that food. And everybody around you will have that good food. Or if you're by yourself, you'll know that you're safe. For example, like there's people that just passed too, right? And so I could feel what they were, and you just know. It's like, oh well, two entities and they have negative energy and they have two a lot of demons, right? And so and you know where that part is really interesting. And so in the spirit world, it's like they interact. I was like my spirit and their spirit and their right? And it's almost like they talk in a way because they're entities, right? Like good and bad. Like that's Lucifer's blueprint, right? That's the entity, right? And so they kind of would just they feel, right? And it's just all about frequency and all about hiding frequency too. Because it's like you have to somehow live within the same plane, but at the same time try to mask who you are. It's this technology that I don't know if humans will ever mask, but we hope we know that it might just be like, you see me, don't you? You'll be like, oh shit, right? Because all around you, all the time, there's always little aliens, always, because they're always trying to fix this biosphere that keeps breaking. So it's just like that's why we're at the end of the second biosphere because it's like we need to fucking manually reset this thing. You know what I mean? And so now everyone just has these videos of things kind of glitchy and it's kind of like, that one's really obvious. It's like, how do you explain that? You know what I mean? The Bible will never change. All of a sudden, it's like, so it's funny, right? And so anyway, this biosphere, it's like now it's just time for the fucking humans to get out. That was your time of slumber. It's just like that was your time of being deceived by Lucifer. But anyway, so these angels, and they go out and they play that are, and they think they're friends, right? But at the same time, you kind of get to know your friends, the ones that you give them free will because it's soul, right? It's almost like a jackpot. You don't really know what soul you're gonna get. It's just you get something, right? So everybody, even like God himself, all of a sudden it's just like, okay, you get to be God. This is kind of like, oh wow, that was a good pick for that first name. Next person, you get to be Lucifer. It's like, oh, next is like everybody, every human, everything, right? Even those angels, they went from the same pot, so they're almost like humans, but with more power than the humans. If they would actually came over here, it's like, this is integrate you. It's like, we probably shouldn't put them in the same dimension. Right? It's like, well, how do we manipulate them? Because we kind of, well, just have them stand behind you, right? So behind you is your angel. And so, and how it works for you, right, it's through clean blood. So it almost is like, and weed helps too. So it's kind of like it helps you kind of just relax. And so they become you. After a while, they just be like, hey bro, how's it going? You'd be like, oh, good, what's up? Yeah, not bad. You're just sitting there, right? And you're talking in your mind. Sometimes though, you can just be by yourself and you're just kind of like in around and be like, no, it'd be like, hey, what's up? And like you just have a conversation, right? And he'll tell you stuff, right, about you, or else it's about things and things like that. And you'll be like, oh, he's like, oh, that girl checked you out, and like he said this about you, I don't know, right? And it's like, oh, that's nice, right? And it's like you have that buddy, you have yourself, right? Because that's essentially who you are. Is you're that there, but that you're not even that human. It's like, hey, human. It's like you're supposed to just hold that thing, not fucking own it, no fucking piece of shit. Give it back, right? And so there was an arrangement. And so the arrangement is it's like 40 years, 48, 40, right? But it's actually it could be longer because if you can make that body grow forever, to 20, 22, and you can live for 1,000 years, right? You live with the right food. And now it's like, now we can do that, right? Because you can't really use over there and all of a sudden it's all timed up perfectly. So now it's like, yeah, we're at the end of the biosphere because it's all glitchy, right? So now you have to get all of these people and make sure they don't get killed. It's like, okay, now we can't sure they don't get died, right? Like the dark times are coming back. So anyway, so what happened in the Bible? It's like everything mirrored each other. So when Moses was coming down there with these writing on these tablets, which kind of turns into, I don't know, evil afterward because it just drew the words for their own liking. And then also over here in 1492, Chrissy, he brought over the Bible, right? Also he brought it to the Indian people. So it's like they match each other on each side. If you want to line them up, there you go, line them up, right? To that. And so it kind of like now it's a time of King Cyrus and and all that, and it's kind of like there, right? But you have to see like it's working backwards as well, right? But it's also marrying, and so you kind of have to figure that out. And so, and like in the Bible, it was just so glitchy. It was like it just fucked you guys up. Like holy shit, you guys are really fucked up. It's like you don't even know it's right. This biosphere thing. This aliens and this, it's like, and there's Lucifer guy. So anyway, so God made his aliens, his angels, right? And so he just made them for his friends and whatnot. But the reason for that though is he had to do it because he had to go out and kind of just train first and kind of just go do his own thing and learn how to use his abilities and who he was as a person. And so, and he did. And finally, he's like, well, the game's warmed up. Well, I think the gods warmed up. Is that now he's going to make these angels, right? Which is, you kind of have markers where you kind of want him to go, right? At the same time. But you don't want him to feel like has anything stopping you. Otherwise, then it doesn't feel right. So anyway, it just goes off and he does these things. But there's these aliens, right? You call them aliens, but it's just your, that would be, how would you describe that? Right? So here's how it is. So it's humans who got so advanced that they didn't really have any they really should talk because it's so inefficient because then it forces you to have to drink water and it got to a point where they were just so smart and it just got really boring, right? But then like the way we are now in the simulation, because it's not real, it's just like we're not, we are someone's past, right? We are someone's past. And so they took the humanity too far that they became imbalanced. They became so good they all turned into little Lucifers, just evil little people. It's almost like a bunch of women who just did PMS and they just wanted to hurt and backstab each other. It was like that. And then after they say, okay, stop. We need to fucking use our dark side. It's like there's no way we can all say you can't masturbate because we can't anyway. We have no penis. It's like, but we still have those urges because it was a human thing, right? But they changed their body and altered it to their liking, not knowing that they thought, well, we can just, because we don't need the dark side because it hurts humanity, right? It's like, well, if you work with it, it's a good thing. It will help you in a time when you know like there's a situation that's dark, like the good, right? You can say, well, I'm gonna use the good. Then you have the bad. Say, hey, bro, why don't you help me? The times when someone's gonna hurt me, he goes, you come in and you destroy it. And you say, okay, sweet, right? Because that anger has to happen, but you have to feed your brother that's inside there, right? Because there's two of them in there. And so you can use that to protect you and to keep you safe. And that way it feels like good. It's like I'm working. It's almost like someone at home doesn't have a job and all of a sudden you're just kind of like, hey, baby, you want a job? Come protect me. So you're like, hell yeah, right? And sweet, and you do that, but you give that person the job and that person is doing something, even though they're standing there, they're not standing at the welfare office. They're standing protecting you. They have a job and they have money, right? Things like that. It's the mentality behind it. It's like people want to feel like they're used. And not in a bad way, but in a good way, right? Someone wants to feel special to someone. It's just like someone needs you. Things like that. And so really that's what it is. Like, we're just humans. Like the older ones are just little babies. It's like you never, ever, ever grow up from that little baby. Why would you want to? Because why would you want to take the fun out of life and then say, I'm an adult now, and I do adult stuff like go to work and pay bills. And it's just like, and people literally do that, and it's kind of like, why do you hate yourself? It's crazy. It's just like, why would you want to do that? Why would you, right? But they want to just fit in with the Joneses, right? But we should really just question the whole idea of how it works, right? The education system and everything that's just set up wrong. And it's like the world is round. The world is like, no, it's not. It's flat. Right? You gotta wonder some days. I got two sons. Right? It's just like it's just a game. And so anyway, and when you do wake up, what it does is you build a relationship, because as you start going down this walk, right, you're suddenly gonna start getting cleaner. Then all of a sudden you'll be walking, and all of a sudden you'll just be like, huh, I have the urge to go and grab to just go home and relax instead of go out and get to work. Weird, right? It's kind of like, and then you're on this crossroads. You're just kind of like, right? When you're something's like, turn around, and you're just like, turn. You're like, I don't know how to do it, right? Because it's making like connection with you, like for that first time. And all of a sudden you're there, and it's like it's there because you're being led by another one. But the other, as you get your butt gets cleaner, all of a sudden you start building relationship with yourself. That's the funny part with yourself. It's like your brain almost will just rejoice and say like, I remember you, right? It's all of these of you, right? And then it's like getting yourself back. And so that's what the journey is finding you and getting rid of these parasites that live off your body. It's so disgusting. But yeah. But anyway. So anyway, so after he just like, he saw the light, I guess, right? But then it really didn't see the light. It was just, he just didn't want to kill it anymore. And just thought like, I'm done. And so, and he left the game, right? And then went off to his natural self with the sun. And then afterwards they're like, my Lord, did you have fun? You were there a long time. They're like, yeah. Right? And so anyway, but and then he goes off and he goes, I'm ready for a good song. But here's the thing. Right? So over there, so when like when angels, right, they would hold him with a skirt, but it wasn't actually going to go so physical form, because he's like, well, I want someone to hold me so I can play things up, right? Our friends, and kind of like that with friends, and that's kind of who he wanted. And so, anyway, like they would look at the sun, and then they would get their orders type deal, and they'd be like, yeah, we're going, and they would talk to them, and they would have their relationship, right? They had a relationship with each other. And after a while, they got sick of it. And it's just like, well, let us see you. It's like, why don't you just make him a body? We know you can do it. And he's just like, well, I'll play with you guys, right? And they started betting all the time. Yeah, see you, and he's like, oh, no, right? But they had to be the one to ask. The terms of his buyers for it is like, because they have their own free will too, right? And so it's almost like they're playing right here, but they're EXing. And so they have their own free will. And so they also have a choice, like, because they all have the same thing, right? And so they wanted to say, okay, well, okay, just remember, you asked for it. They're like, no, okay, fine, I'll give you what you want. I just don't want to hear anymore. Fine, I'll give you one, but just tell you one thing. Sometimes, you gotta watch what you ask for, right? And okay, yeah. One second. And so this is like the years, right? And so anyway, there was a time and dinosaurs. Excuse me. And so this is the time of dinosaurs, right? And so, and then God would go play like in late dinosaurs somewhere, and they all that his friends would go play there as well too, blah blah blah, right? So anyway, since we explained like back over that, I want to spend some time. So anyway, if you move back, so with these aliens, right? They got bored and they would play with humans. So these aliens are actually you. So this alien, when you're sleeping, it goes to work, right? And then it's like, oh, how's your human doing? Oh, he's sleeping. And then when you wake up, they go off and they go and like going kind of like play their game, right? Because they all have like a little thing at work, and then they go and spend time, and because they need to go off and have a dark side. They need to feed it and just have fun and kind of just and they can go to different ones, right? Not this one. It's like there's like so many people, trillions and trillions. It's like it's huge. Like there's 4 sectors, and so we're in that sector too, because that everything is like up and down, everything's twos, right? And in sector 1, of course, is just one, and they're newer ones. And then you have sector 4, and that one's just complicated stories. It's kind of like, oh my god, it's just like, that's like crazy. That's like, that's pretty bad. Yeah. Anyway, but what's sector 2? And kind of just this biosphere, right? And so they like have all these alien abductions and these things like that. Do you think they happen? Or is it just people wanting to, or is it in their mind? You know, like there's so many things, so many factors. And yes, you bring in spirit by your own mind, right? By your thoughts. You can sit there and envision it so much that you get scared that you can create it with your own mind because you're gods. You can do anything with your mind, and you don't realize the power of your mind. And some have these gifts and you don't realize, and you're gifted or all in these crazy homes. You're just like, that's how you treat your gifted, eh? You fucking institutionalize them. But they don't understand how gifts work. Like Tesla was a gifted motherfucker. He was pretty much God. And so, like, you don't think any human would ever do all that, right? Come on, that was God, right? That was, you can play different characters, like, throughout different parts of history. If you actually look, you can actually find which characters God played, right? Because he wants to play his game. He doesn't want to go away from history, even though he lost it to Eve. So anyway, I want to explain to you this character. So anyway, they started complaining. Okay, fine. He's like, and it was time the dinosaurs. And then so they're looking down, right? And he hops out of the dinosaur and starts to do their thing. And okay, fine. He's like, I don't think it's gonna take much work for these all go up, left, right, eat, on poop, right? Just like, okay, keep going forward, follow it, right. So anyway, so this goes off, and he said, hold on, and he said, hold on. He said, I want you to go off and get me this sand. It's really white sand, right? And they laid out this sand, this mold, right? And they're like injecting, like, the sun's energy, the sun's everything into it. Right? And it's just kind of like, it's a lot. And so you're thinking like, well, we need a lot of power. Like, okay, well, I guess let's kill the dinosaurs. Right? And just kind of just like, and then it's just like, and so you put on it and see, but here's the thing. And so you're watching, right? And you're watching the dinosaurs, and you're like, okay, so you go, hold on, right? Because he knew where the oil was going to be, and where the gas and all these things, and which would do that, and he's going to hold on. And he knew, like, okay, this is going to be for Simon, this will be this for this, right? For his children, right? Because they're going to fight for it. No, this is the time to fight for it. It's like, you guys are going to fucking help. He's like, you better fucking put up a good fight. And so anyway, that's what, like, it's time, right? And then knew the thing was. He said, hold on. He knew, like, my character. He's like, hold on. 5, 4, 3, 2, burn. Right? And then all of a sudden, dinosaur's gone. But what it does is like they're building this, right? All of a sudden, the rain starts forming. And it was the first angel that was white because it was made in that light ages. So anyway, it's like 2 minutes. It's beautiful. And all of a sudden, but you only give 50% of everything. You can't give 100% of the you have 2 guys. And they're like, okay, well, they're going to fight. Someone's never, ever going to die. But anyway, so you have this being, right? And it's there, and then you have to train him. And you have to train him and tell him, and he also has a realization of he was for the power. And you give him like a step, what he has to do. And you're like, okay, I'm going to be God to these angels. And that, right? And then finally, they reveal. And then you step into your creation, right? That was like tooth-headed. And that was Lucifer. And all of a sudden, it's like they look at Lucifer, and he had a ring. Tooth had a ring. And as long as he was also wearing he was wearing a cape, right? And it's like the coat of many colors, which represents like a lot of gifts. There's a lot of gifts, right? And so And he went off there and kind of just did his thing. And then they look out. Finally, they seen their God, the angels were happy. Like they were happy. Everybody, like look at how you learn. And he was the first angel that was white. The others were just black, hideous guys, right? They're not made for looks. No, they're made for skill, fighting, killing, things like that, like fun guy thing, right? And then you have this this Lucifer one, really pretty, very well, not like feminine in any way, but just masculine, but just turned into a little bitch, right? Because it's like he didn't have that time for the manliness. It's like you need to have balance. And so it was like this spoiled little brat after all. And then he would just, yeah, just well. And right, he didn't have that. He fed that light side too much, like those, like your. I never figured out how to call it. It's weird because it just worked backwards. But anyways, like hey, right, like you. And so, and I kind of like just do the part. So anyway, Lucifer is made, and the made he also was a god, and then with the God would allow him to do anything. What do you want? He goes, I want to also be good. I want to have some friends that aren't so ugly. He's just like, as you wish, right? To go off and could do anything because he was God because he was wearing that ring. But God wouldn't sin him all the time. He'd just go off and do his thing and hang out, whatever, right? He would sit inside of him, but sometimes he'd go off and just go in the sun. So anyway, but because of the fact that it's so beautiful and became so vain, right? It turns into something. It's like but at the same time, it's just you're creating this character, right? It's a character in the game because it's a game. You need an enemy, otherwise it's like, yeah, we're all friends all the time. What'd you do? We had tea, right? It's like those people, their lives didn't build for themselves, that for their lives. It's just like, my God, I want to just knock your tea over and sprinkle fruit biscuits. Right? It's just like, oh my God. And that's what it is. It's just perfect all the time. It just becomes so evil. Right? Perfection. So you need character. You need something to kind of round it out. And it's like, there's no rounding with this guy. Nothing. So anyway. And then you get. And then you say like, hey, Lucifer, do you wanna go play Earth? Right? There's nobody yet. He's like, what do you mean? Let's go play Earth. That's like, what's that? Okay. And it was this Earth. It was hidden. Right? He like wouldn't play every other place, but let's play this one. Right? It's like your baby. You hit it. And so you go there, and then you give him like, I'll give you Atlantis. And it was a place, right? It was up there in the north. And he lived there with his people because he needed to see how he was going to treat his own people. Right? He made his own white people. And before you go into a game, right, you create the spectrum of your people. So kind of like he goes, well, I'm going to have lots of knowledge, lots of this and lots of that, right? Because he had 50%. And he had aspirations to be a god. And he just, right, because God knew his heart and God knew everything. And because he knew exactly what it was going to create. From all the years of hanging out with all these different characters, right? He was studying. He went out there to study, but at the same time, he went out there to find his dark side, right? You can't be a god and say like, oh, you say that's bad to go and touch that one person, or bad to go and kill that one person, bad to go and right, all these things, right? He's like, well, God had to go and do all those things. That way, he can say like, you actually had a choice, right? Because he was in those shoots, walking so many boxes, right? So like God had to go do every bad, holy and sinly sin they can think of. It had to be done. It was kind of like, whatever, right? But it was just indulgent, but at the same time, and then finally it was sick of it, right? Which is good, because now you can have someone that can create a game that's a lot of fun, right? And that's what it was all about, creating this being that would just kind of go and create itself, like create a game for the aliens to go and play, right? Because they like to play a game that are fun, and it's like different biospheres, and it's like, and as long as people fall within the rules, they get to go play. And people want to play it. Otherwise, you don't really have to work all the time. So it's like, that's us. But work is fun, right? It's not like it's a bad thing. They love it so much, but it becomes a bad thing. So they have to find balance, and this is balance. It's biospheres, right? And so with this game, now it's at a point where it's good versus evil, and now it's waking up to human time with food and learning how it actually works, the body, right? And like just waking up with food. And so now with Lucifer and his people, right? It's like people, one is like there's Satanists that say, yeah, there is. Like there's secret worlds that you'll never hear about, right? Or see, which is good because you don't want to see them. Because they summon things that they shouldn't be doing, right? Hurting themselves. But they don't know what they're doing at the same time as the humans doing things, but they're just using these bodies to bring their friends over here, right? It's like they'll bring them to humans. They know humans are there. It's like because that's their army. It's an army that's being built, right? It's it's a scary time, and the humans don't realize. It's like, man, if you knew, you guys would just be shaking all the time and just be scared little chihuahuas just shaking all the time, right? But it's just like it's best you don't know the things that are beside you. He's like, ew. Gross. This straight guy looks at his wife. Oh, I'm kidding. Straight guy. That's funny. You know what's crazy though? It's just the bitches, right? The one was just like, oh, I'm straight. And it's like, no, you're not. You're imbalanced. You're killing something in you, but that shouldn't be. But it actually is hurting you. It's turning you into a psychopath, right? It's like what it is. It's like people eventually, like if someone goes and says, it's like, oh no, that kind of fag, whatever. It's like, oh, I'm not gay, did I? It's like that person is really, 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 really horny and just thinks about it all the time, right? It's like, it's kind of like, oh, that's all you're thinking about it. You pull out your cock, you just suck it. It's like, hey, bro, so up. I'm kidding. Actually, I'm not. It's just I'm kidding. The sun just amazing. Did you know actually the moon is actually the sun? It's just a plate. Nothing there. But yeah, it's just a reflection, right? It's just a reflection of each other, and you kind of just see where things are. And the ones in the old world, it's like a soft reset, I guess. You're seeing nature kind of just destroy, do its crazy things. You're gonna see nature do crazy stuff right now. But the thing though, the thing you're living in, here's how it works. And that's how here's how you not die. And here's how you not attract those entities into your life. Just raise your frequency. And just be a good person. Love. For example, to say a white person right now, here's it to you. Here's the time that you're living in. If you go, say, to some black guy, in your mind, you shake his hand and your mind is saying, oh, that's savage, or whatever, like, he called something. And you do that continually, like in your heart, all the time. Or you actually maybe even hurt him. But the one doing it in your heart is the one that hurts you most. And so anyway, so when you die, all of a sudden you'll go to hell, because it's like, God, you're like, I don't want that. Get out of here. Let it go sit in one place, right? You go sit there in hell, and your mind is unlocked, but your body's locked. It's almost like you're asleep paralysis. And so you're screaming in your mind, and you're just like thinking about what you did, and all of a sudden, thinking about the things you did, and you'll just like it gives you time to think, right? And then when you go back into line, all of a sudden, like, time is done in the biosphere. It's like, now we're gonna go start judging these people accordingly, right? Because now we can judge them. Now it turns into a different game. It just gets so horrible. It's fun. Anyway, so it's just kind of like when you judge these people, right? And there's a lot of them are just they're Lucifer's people. So it's just like, what's up? And so and you just see like it's like wow, and you see like what they've done. It will just be there and shown. It's just, but for that one person who hasn't said in this time, right? In this time, because everything's going to be exposed. And the story that I'm telling you is something that everyone's going to hear because you're going to hear it, right? And you know, tell other people not to be like that, right? And you're hearing it because you're supposed to hear it. It's a crumb thing. It's that, right? So So it's figure it out. But anyway, so it's just like this, and it's game. But yeah, and it's just a matter of trying not to die, trying not to get killed because that character behind you wants that device to play, right? And you can play together. It's not like they want to steal. They just want to just help. Because you have these humans who are saying, "What is my purpose of life?" It's like to eat, right? So we can play with you. It's like that's it. That is the game, right? And it's just like, but they've never been shown that, like nothing, and they weren't supposed to. Otherwise, it would just be boring. So really, it's just it's randomness to excite, to be able to have fun. Because you really look at it as like you're born and then you die. It's like you could have had more fun, or you could have had your purpose. You kind of went out, you got to know each other, and you increase in level as well. Once you've broken up with your character, you take it off to the next one versus like restart. How many times are you gonna play that? Right? It's like, how do you not learn? And just people just don't grow, but some do, right? And it's about taking that step. That's a hard step to do. It's like, especially for someone. Here's the guy. Some dude. Right? He works in an office. Very tidy. Let's say he's stiff. Okay. And he's just playing by the white man rules and just killing himself like weird. Right? Then all of a sudden he so anyway, it's a rapture coming. He went and typed it in. All of a sudden he sees this and he hears, right? And he understands but he needs to take that stand. And then he doesn't take that stand, right? Which is fun. Should have taken a stand. So it's just all about those people, right? They really hurt themselves by going back because that opportunity that they had is now gone, right? Because everyone has an opportunity once you've heard the truth, but you have to act on it. If you don't, then you fall back into a system, and then you go with that crew, right? Because everyone has an opportunity once they've heard that they have an opportunity, or they've heard something that just says like that you have to just do it. Don't fucking think about it, just do it. It's just kind of like jump. It's kind of like I might get hurt. It's like you might fly. You know what I mean? It's like you got almost like just with that book that I want you to read. It's all about getting rid of all that negative energy around for me, like all those naysayers. Somebody goes, "Oh, I can't be down here." It's kind of like, I don't think we can talk anymore. Right? It's just like I've done that. I've had to like get rid of that. Right? It's just like, and my friends that I have around me, like they're positive as well too, and it's all about just talking into existence, talking until it happens. And then so and after a while, it just becomes part of you, and you can't help it. It's kind of like, yeah. So what are you doing today? Like, I don't know. I'm probably gonna go see my friend Terry around 6 or something around that. Thank you very much. Like, oh, yeah. Okay. But you didn't even tell your friend Terry that you wanted to. It's just you're so connected with the whole everything, right? That your friend is thinking like, huh. And if he's getting clean as well too, he'll think that because you said it. And he'll just be like, well, it becomes like your phone system after all, right? Because it's your friends and you guys kind of, friends of a frequency flock together, things like that. Right? And so it's just, after a while, you guys connect, and say if you're playing in a band, and you guys are all at the frequency, right? And then all of a sudden you guys are playing, it's like you guys would almost be like a big harmony of like angels. And people will just be like, oh wow. But then also you have to look at the word love. So love is the key to the universe, right? So the word love is just like, ask yourself, well, what frequency is love? If you find out the frequency of love, it's like you found out the sound that makes the body just melt and just like, oh, I'm in love, right? Remember that feeling when you just fall in love and you just look across and you just, and you know you're in love. You're just like, why fuck I'm in love, right? You fall, right? You just fall. It's like literally you fall to the ground, but you don't let people see that because it's yours. You're like, I'm in love, right? And that's what it is. It's like that feeling is like a control, right? But people don't even know what love is because it's lust, right? So the mindset is like there you're gonna want to fuck everything you think. Well, after a while you start to follow other types of people, right? They turn out this type of stuff. And so anyway, with this Lucifer guy, he's playing, right? He's watching it and this type of character turn into because he also evolves and kind of like, well, let's see what happens, right? And you see it on the game, right? On the other time, when he was playing the game, he'd go out and watch people all the time, and just look people watching because he was practicing for when the time or his time because it was a huge responsibility to say like, man, I have to be a god to these people. And it's like, I better fucking get a lot of moccasins worn out, right? So it's just like, so you went out and just learn and just do it, right? I was gathering. And so it's just all about this all the time, right? But just let his and this approach is to its thing, right? It's just kind of like the sun shines. I think we can do that. Just don't push any buttons. It's good. It's like, okay. And so it's just kind of like, right? It's just all about this learning. So with Lucifer, right? So I want to tell you the story, and then and I'll head off like this is the first series. So anyway, he this thing, right? Atlantis, and kind of learning the map raw. God's like, I think I've learned enough. I've learned about this guy. I don't want to. It's just like because you just want to get away from the negative energy, right? And you only have to because it's the path, right? So anyway, and he goes, and then he went and like, lay down. He's like, hey, this is for my son. I'm a present for you. He goes, what's my present? He goes, let's go see something. So he's showing them like this other area, right? And then he's just like, oh, this is that. He's like, oh, okay. And he's like, oh, he looks at him and he goes, why does he have my face? He's like, what the fuck is that brown bastard on my face? Because he's racist, right? Lucifer just hates. He loves white skin. He loves himself, right? As any person should love themselves. So he's really doing what a person do, right? He overloved himself, like overloved himself. He was beautiful. He was not as ugly as the other ones, but he was actually beautiful, that godlike. It was beautiful. I don't know, but it was a manly beautiful, not girly beautiful. Anyway, Lucifer loves girly beautiful. Yeah. Anyway, and so he, right? And he went and showed him. He's like, "Why is this?" And he kicked at him. It was like, "Don't do that. That's your god." He's like, "What do you mean that's my god?" He's like, "Well, remember when you were training and before I turned you on, and kind of like just turned you and met you onto my angels?" He's like, "Yeah. Well, remember I said that, but I'm going to take this ring from you and I'm going to give it to Adam, and you will serve him, blah 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 blah." Right? And he goes like, "The way I serve you," and he was like, "Well," and you agreed to it. So he went, one goes, "Oh, wow." He's like, "Well," right? And then he had all the powers. All of a sudden, he has to go back and give him up to this being, and just like, "Well, why don't you play him?" He goes, "No, and I'll play a different character, right? We can be bros, and we can keep going and play again, right?" And it's just like, you want me to like wipe the ass of this like character? He's like, "Fuck you, I'm a god, right? I'm never gonna do that, right?" And he's like, "Ah," and all of a sudden he's angry, right? He's just there, his anger doesn't flow back. So think of your son, and all of a sudden you take away his Nintendo, and it's like, ah, it's just like, you're just spoke back, right? So he's like, you want to make him angry. So anyway, he's just kind of like, well, right? He's like, I'm moving out. He's like, okay, fine. Right? You have a huge fight, and he kind of leaves. Right? And he's like, well, fuck off then. It's just like, well, you're out of my heaven, right? It's like, go down in the basement. Go down your Your fucking little brothers. I go after. It's like, you're not the fucking first one to fucking turn into a sucker. Right? I have some other ones down there. Go meet them. But you stay away, but you fucking intermingle the blood, right? Otherwise you'll fucking hurt, right? Where's one? So anyway, so went off and kind of did his thing and went down to eat, right? But he was still allowed to come out, right? He wasn't there, and so he was allowed to come out, and then Adam was doing this thing, right? Just going out there and just creating because God put him there, and so anyway, right? They go off, and then of course, like Lucifer and God were still like, we're friends. I'm like your son was moved to the basement. But it's not like you're gonna stop talking to him. It's just kind of like, hey dad, can I borrow $10 bucks? Yes. You still love him. It's like you're not gonna stop. It's whatever. So anyway, he'll just come and go. Right? He's not locked up yet, but you get life. Anyway, he goes and does things, and right, and he goes, well, how's that? And he's like, hey, it's okay, right? And after a while, he goes, can I go hang out? I'm curious to see what you make. And so he's like, sure. And he wanted that. He wanted Adam to have companionship, and right. And Lucifer just wanted him to fall in love with him, right? Because he went off and he took his character and went up and hung out with Adam, right? Two dudes hanging out, and you start wrestling. What happens? It's like, oh, boners, and have fun, right? And Lucifer made him fall in love. And he was so loving, just right? And of course, you know what love does. It just makes you just forget about your task. And all of a sudden, it's just like, Adam's in love and just forgot his weight. It's like, you, right? You pretty little thing. Always just fucking get sick. And you have to, right? Because it's like, and you have to remedy it. Because it's a game. You just let it play. You can't really try not to affect them too much. Right? It's like you gotta lead them in the right direction and say, that's what the two of us. You're gonna go. And humans are gonna do like you're crazy, right? And so anyway, and so at least Free goes there and everyone's hang with them, come and go, right? And then finally one day, this Free's just like, no, I don't think it's right that I come here because I'm seeing someone out there all the time. It's just like I'm cheating on it with you. It's just like, what? Right? Isn't that? It just hurt. I just wanted to hurt. It's like, I'm gone, right? And it was just hurt, left, I don't know, just like, you're an ass. Right? You're an ass. And so it just, everybody couldn't do anything. It just kind of, Adam was just hurt, and you're begging, whatever Adam asked for, he's like, you got in that game, right? And so he asked for, like, he was hurt, and he's like, I'm in love, and I want this, and right? And so, and it was just like, it was just devastating. It was just like, this guy's not going to get past that. We really need to give him something, right? It's kind of like, okay, and so anyway, right? And so Lucifer's like, well, I have my character down there, right? We have cloning technology. Why don't you let me clone him a brother? Right? You can have fun with him. Right? That way you can fall in love with him too, and he'll have his spitting image, and everyone just loves themselves. And so he's okay, all right, whatever. God knew. The secret was he was just an ass. Right? Anyway, he went after and he was, and they would talk to their character, right? Because you can talk to your character, right? And then, and the dimension, right? The other. So then you go off and do this thing, and they went and took the rib, and right, and showed like not showed that it go to female spirit, but it's like you have both in there too. Somehow. And so anyway, go off and take this thing, and they went off and cloned, right? And then they come back, and then they come back with a different character, and then they fly off. And it's a woman. And Adam's just like, oh, what the fuck is that? Right? And expecting a penis all that. He didn't know a woman. He's never touched a woman. He didn't know what the hell to do with one, right? It's just kind of like, he was heartbroken. It was just kind of like, what? Right? He's like, he knew how to, a man to please him, and he knew how to please a man, but he knew how to please a woman. But he was bi. He didn't know it yet. And he was kind of, right? And Lucifer knew that, and he's kind of like, oh, do you want me to go teach you how to use her? It's just like, you bastard. And then he made her like all this, and right. And so then that was his character. So it's just like, well, I guess that's the character you use, his character. Right? And that's when he was sitting there. The whole time he was sitting there, really, it's just like, by the time of torment, right? It's torment. and it's just a horrible time. But yeah, when there's no time torment, it's like it's a nicer person. But it's really just it's really meant to just torment men to make sure they never ever ever succeed, right? You need someone to say like, oh honey, that was so great, that was great. It's like we're just kind of like that's small. It's kind of like, man, you just destroyed me. You know what I mean? So it's just like they never really wanted to help. So really, that was their role. And so so anyway, but that was his character. So and anyway, he's like, oh, then you want to go teach him? He's like, yeah, sure, but you can't have sex with her. I was like, okay, but of course you can't do, right? Well, after of course had sex, and then they had two sons, twins, right? And they and they both banged her. It's just like, imagine banging her. It's awesome, right? It's fun to do with your friends. It's like it's a lot more fun. That's your lie. That's why it's fun. That's how it's meant to be. But anyway, and so they kind of just do their thing, right? And kind of just there, and she has Cain and Abel, and then Eve. Lucifer goes to listen to Eve, and then he goes and conspires with his son. He goes, "You should kill him so we can have the birthday." He's like, oh, okay. Right? And it's like and then that's how the game started. And now that's how you have good and evil, and all it kind of just goes on. And so yeah, but yeah. Giants. That's Lucifer with his teams. Look, and there's a giant. So, yeah. And that is part A of our story. Okay.